Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Friday, July 17th, and this is your daily financial news. Real quick, I know we're going to hit the 130 thumbs up again, so I trust you we will get there today. But do me a favor, we need some questions. Usually by Friday, I have 20 to 25 questions lined up. As of right now, looks like I've only got 10 or 11. So I'm ready to answer questions. Again, 8 a.m. tomorrow, Saturday, I will be running through the laundry list of questions you have. If we only have 10 or 11, then hey, it might be a 30-minute call. I am willing to give you the full hour. So if you have questions, real estate, investing, things of that nature, do me a favor and put them in any of the comments below any of the daily financial news. Monday through Friday would be great. I will look at it this evening and be ready to rock and roll tomorrow. So first and foremost, I want to let you know about two exciting interviews that we'll be posting, one at 9 a.m. and one at noon. We did an interview that's going live at 9 with Brick by Brick Wealth Instagram. This is a young lady, mother of three, who moved from Southern California to Memphis, and she learned her market. And she's gotten focus, and she's doing the kinds of things that we talk about in the course, which was awesome. That's a very exciting interview. And then at noon, somebody reached out to me, a young investor who felt stuck. So they asked if I would answer some questions, and I said, only if I can interview you on Zoom and share it with the rest of the world. So she agreed, and that goes live at noon. So if you feel stuck, analysis paralysis, not sure where to go, pay attention in that interview, and I hope you enjoy both of those because they were fun. So first and foremost about the Nasdaq, I don't often do afternoon or early evening calls. You know, I did something yesterday after Netflix had some disappointment in their earnings. And, you know, I made some calls about where I thought the Nasdaq might go. It didn't look that good in the morning, right? Came out, I think it was plus 60. As I'm recording this, it's already down 40. So we'll see. You know, I took a shot. Yeah, I took a shot. I could be wrong. I'm wrong all the time. But I thought it was interesting that one of the FANG stocks, and somebody actually didn't know what that was. It's Facebook, Alphabet, Apple, Netflix, Google. No, Amazon, not Alphabet, Amazon, and then Google. So that's what FANG is, right? It's an acronym that's been around for a couple of years now. So that's what the FANG stocks are, and that's why I said it was missing a tooth, because Netflix got smoked. A couple of things. So I just want to call that, I'm like, some of you have already commented, you're wrong, you're an idiot, all of that. I took a shot. If you want to share your thoughts about tomorrow on your crystal ball, let me know, and we can hold each other accountable. Big meeting in the EU this weekend. You know, the EU is trying to cobble together a rescue package for the EU region. It has to be difficult with all of the various national interests and needs. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of it. It's got to be it's just got to be difficult. Everybody has their own needs, and they don't, you know, if they get this, I want that. I'm sure the negotiations would be pretty interesting. But you know, this just goes to show you that we're not through this as a world yet, and there needs to be more stimulus to quote an often discussed thing on YouTube. I can't believe all these guys make so much money on stimulus videos when we've had 4 and we are going to have a 5th. I guess people like thinking about free money. I don't know. The Twitter hack is still going on. I think it's interesting. Again, just reading what was published. The FBI is involved. That's got to be interesting. Next up, it says that only 130 or so accounts were impacted. If that's true, I guess that's good news. That's a small sample. I'm just curious if there's more to it, and the hackers chose to test it or use it or high leverage. It just feels like there could be more out there. And I spent some time in the software security space, so I've seen some pretty, I don't know, impressive and sad hacks. And this feels like the tip of the iceberg, but I hope I'm wrong. I have no data. It just feels like there's more there. So we'll see. It will certainly be evolving. On the real estate front, remember this channel, we talk about consumers and cost of capital. Well, we don't get updates on cost of capital very often, but I saw this morning. Mortgages now are under 3%. I had seen a couple of these from folks over the last 30 days, owner-occupied loans, but now more and more of the country and more individuals are getting 2.99, 2.97. It's crazy to me. I remember my first loan was in the sevens. So that's interesting. U.S. construction, U.S. home construction, up big. It is clear that at least for the next 2 to 8 quarters, construction, single-family homes is going to be up. This is a trend that once started takes a while to run its course. It was up 17.3% in June. It will help with employment, no question. It's going to be net positive across the country, in my opinion, except for, New York, San Francisco, stuff that we've talked about being in pain. In addition to that, building permits were up. It's kind of a mixed bag, but it's net positive for us in this channel. Single family homes are up 11.8, while multifamily is down 13.4. So you wash all that together and you get a 2.1% positive for future growth. Again, single family homes. We are going to see lots of new builds coming. The rush out of the big cities, the rush to the suburbs, the Class A tenants going, I had enough, I want to own. The shift in millennials from renting to buying. This is real. And I'm getting more and more emails or comments or whatever you want to call it on my Vegas discussions with Brian Lebo. It does sound like the rush to Vegas is much faster and much bigger than I had thought. So there are lots of buyers, but people are pointing that the underlying economy in Vegas is terrible. But that's kind of here and there, right? You're getting people that work for companies or get paychecks from companies outside of Vegas. So yeah, the local economy may be suffering, and if you were in the service industry or entertainment industry, it sucks. It's terrible. But there's still a lot of houses being snapped up from people who are getting paid in the California, SoCal, Phoenix, all of that. So it's going to be interesting to watch. And this space is good. High taxes coming to California, New York. It's going to fundamentally change population, and it's going to change other things. Thanks, Michael. I appreciate that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. So next up, CDC has canceled North American cruises or dockings through the end of September. That is constantly being moved. It'll be interesting if any cruises go out in 2020. I guess they did go out I guess there were some in January, February, March, but yeah, I can't believe it. Now through September. Don't know if you saw this, but there was an island called Horseshoe Island off the coast of Ireland that sold for $6.3 million. What was interesting is it sold based on a virtual tour. The buyer stroked a check or a wire for $6.3 million and never visited the property. That is some confidence right there. 157 acres. It does have 7 properties on it. The main house is like 4,500 square feet, something like that. So yeah, Horseshoe Island, $6.3 million sold on a virtual tour. There you go. Netflix, again, the reason for my video yesterday down about 6% as of this recording, basically was disappointing subscriber growth. They'd pull forward a lot of demand in Q1, Q2. So we'll see. They did promote who they call Mr. Hollywood. That was a nickname I'd never heard of as co-CEO. As I talked about yesterday, I wonder why that is. Is it A, to get closer to Hollywood? Now it makes sense, Mr. Hollywood. I did not know that yesterday evening. But is it also a sign that the Hastings, the founder, is closer to the exit than not, right? Maybe he wants to go do something else. So we will see. Earnings next week. Tech, lots of tech earnings next week. Kind of big traditional tech, Microsoft and the like, with the Fang names the week after. So it is going to be it's going to be an interesting week to see how they did in Q2. Sure, we're going to have lots of discussions. On the positive side, looks like the Olympics has an official date. It's going to be July 23rd through August 8th. The venues and dates are all set up. So all those athletes who busted their butt to get invited, or I guess you get invited. I guess you win, right? You win, and you go compete for your country. Now you have a date that you can go and work towards. And that training regiment has to be something that you and I can't fathom. So so good for them. Next up, BlackRock beat again. Just this is the theme of the week for financials, and it makes me nervous. If you're a trading company, mainly, bonds, equities, ETFs in BlackRock's case, you had a great quarter. If you're a bank, like you and I, or at least maybe it's our parents think of banks, checking, savings, mortgages, loans, bad quarter, right? Bank of America, Wells Fargo. In addition, it looks like bad debt reserves, when you add it all together, has already exceeded Q1. That was something we talked about, I think, on Sunday, was are the bank reserves for bad debt going to be bigger or smaller than Q1? And I didn't know. I didn't know where it was going to go. But when you start adding them up, they've surpassed Q1. And that's probably not a good thing. That's probably not a good thing. So we will see. If you know anybody in Portland, or if any of the followers watching this are in Portland, I'd love to hear what's actually going on in downtown. I saw some. I saw an article yesterday talking about people are refusing to go downtown, right? And if that happens again, if local consumer psychology changes because of what is going on downtown, that can have long-lasting impacts on the local economy. Again, I'm looking at this from an economic perspective, and if the locals surrounding downtown don't feel safe, don't want to go shopping because of what's been going on in Portland for this long, that's not good. But I've only read a couple of articles. If you're in Portland or know anyone in Portland, I'd love to hear what's actually going on, because it could be very biased information I'm seeing. But yeah, it's something we have to watch, right? Consumer behavior, we're talking nationally on this show all the time, but you can have local disruptions that cause significant harm to a local economy. And if you lose downtown, then that affects, around it, and then, it sort of ripples from there. So that's what I got for you today. Obviously, we may see people getting flat for the weekend. That's been a trend for Friday, although I would say last Friday they didn't get flat. They held the weekend. We did see another published record count of 77,000 new cases. So we'll see if we get to that 100 mark, which 100K mark. So we'll see what's going on there. Again, the weekend, back to the last thing on home construction, I failed to note, it looks like lumber is at a 2-year high. So again, we are seeing home construction take off. And if lumber, which is a significant component of home construction, continues to go up, you will see prices rise as well. So that's what I got for you today, Friday, July 17th. Remember, I need questions. We got 42 people watching and only 16 thumbs up. Help me with that. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow. I will run through the questions that you send me. If we only have 10 or 11, it'll be a half-hour call. I can get through about 25 based on the last 2 weeks. So if we can do that, that would be wonderful. Have a wonderful day.